Calaroga Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., where I like it, this is Valid.
That's right, Bad Bunny is playing the Super Bowl, and apparently someone doesn't like it. Let's hit this. I'm Patrick Gutfield, and President Donald Trump has shared his thoughts on Bad Bunny headlining the 2026 Super Bowl halftime show. And spoiler alert, he's not thrilled about it. Appearing on Newsmax's Greg Kelly Reports, Trump was asked about the NFL's choice. Greg Kelly, doing his best to frame the question, said, "The NFL just chose the Bad Bunny rabbit, or whatever his name is. This guy who hates ICE. He doesn't like you. He accuses everything he doesn't like of racism." Trump's response was like immediate and definitive. "I've never heard of him. I don't know who he is." Now, Bad Bunny is a 3-time Grammy winner and one of the most streamed artists on the planet, but sure, total mystery who this guy is. Then again, Trump didn't just stop at not knowing him. He had opinions anyway. "I don't know why they're doing it," Trump said. "It's crazy." And then they blame it on some promoter they hired to pick up entertainment. "I think it's absolutely ridiculous." So to recap, never heard of him, don't know who he is, but also, it's absolutely ridiculous that he was chosen. It's the presidential equivalent of, "I haven't read the book, but 1 star." Kelly also helpfully noted that Bad Bunny does not seem like a unifying entertainer, and a lot of folks don't even know who he is. Which is an interesting take, considering Bad Bunny's last album debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, and he's performed to sold-out stadiums worldwide. But yeah, very niche artist, really underground. After the halftime show announcement, Trump advisor Corey Lewandowski announced that ICE will be in attendance at the game. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem backed this up, insisting that ICE agents would be all over the Super Bowl. So that's the vibe we're going for. Nothing says entertainment spectacle like heavily publicized immigration enforcement operations. So here we are. The president doesn't know who Bad Bunny is, but thinks choosing him is ridiculous. ICE agents are being promised at the game like they're part of the entertainment lineup. And Bad Bunny is preparing to perform for what will likely be one of the largest audiences in television history, while half of Washington announces they've never heard of him. The Super Bowl is in February. That gives everyone plenty of time to Google Bad Bunny and find out that, yes, he's actually quite famous. Or they could just keep insisting they have no idea who he is while simultaneously being very upset about his halftime show. That works too. The Treasury Department announced that they're planning to mint a $1 commemorative coin featuring President Trump's face, set to roll out in 2026. And before you ask, no, this is not a joke. This is real. The United States government is actually going to make legal tender with Donald Trump on it. Now, you might be thinking, wait, isn't there a law against putting living people on currency? And you would be correct. There is an 1866 law that says only deceased people can appear on U.S. money, specifically to avoid making America look like a monarchy. But apparently someone at Treasury read that and thought, yeah, but what if we just didn't follow that law? The coin would feature Trump's profile on the head side and on the tail side, and I want to be very clear that I am not making this up. It shows Trump with his fist raised in front of an American flag with the words, "Fight, fight, fight" above it. So we've gone from "In God We Trust" to "Fight, fight, fight." That's quite a pivot for our national currency. The justification here is the Circulating Collectible Coin Redesign Act of 2020, which allows the Treasury to mint commemorative coins for the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. The coins are supposed to have designs emblematic of the U.S. semi-quincentennial. And apparently nothing says celebrating 250 years of democracy quite like putting the current president's face on money. Here's where it gets even better. That same 2020 law explicitly states that no portrait of a living person may be included in the design. So the law they're using to justify making the coin is also the law that forbids them from making the coin. That's not a loophole, that's just ignoring what's written down. Throughout the year, Trump's allies in Congress have introduced bills to rename Dulles Airport after him, carve his face into Mount Rushmore, and make his birthday a federal holiday. One proposal wanted to put him on the $100 bill. Another wanted to create a $250 bill just so they could put his face on that too. It's gotten to the point where you can't tell if these are legislative proposals or the wish list to Santa. So CNN's Caitlin Collins was on a podcast last week talking about what it's like to travel with President Trump. And apparently the biggest challenge isn't the security. It isn't the logistics. It isn't even the fact that you're trapped on a plane with no escape. No, the real problem is that the man simply refuses to sleep. According to Collins, Trump aides have told her that the president will actually wake up staffers in the middle of the night because he wants to chat. Just imagine that. You finally drift off after a 16-hour workday, and then at 3 a.m, there's a knock on your door because the president thought of something he needs to tell you right now. Collins says when she talks to sources about joining Trump on Air Force One for long trips, they basically treat it like jury duty. You never want to be on Air Force One on a trip, one told her. Which is wild because for most people, riding on Air Force One sounds pretty cool. But when you realize you're essentially locked in a flying office with someone who treats sleep like it's optional, suddenly that Southwest middle seat doesn't look so bad. And here's the thing. This isn't just affecting his immediate staff. Collins mentioned that when her podcast co-host visited Fox News Studios recently, a producer there said, quote, "None of us are sleeping because the president doesn't sleep. We're all working 2 times right now." So Trump's insomnia has somehow become contagious across the entire news cycle. He's not sleeping, so his staff can't sleep, and now apparently the people covering his staff can't sleep either. Portions of today's show were made with the help of AI